If you own a rental property here in Kansas City, there are a couple of moments every year that are absolutely make or break for your finances. We're talking about lease renewals and tenant move-outs. One means steady, predictable income. The other, well, it can kick off a whole mess of hidden costs. How you handle these transitions is where you either win or lose the profitability game. So let's dive in and break down how to master them.
Here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about just how high the stakes really are. Then, we'll walk through a proactive system for lease renewals and a super precise process for move-outs. And finally, we'll tie it all together to show you how getting these two things right is the key to protecting your bottom line.
All right, let's start with the big picture. This isn't just about shuffling paperwork around. A tenant transition is a huge financial event for your property. I mean, getting it wrong is expensive, but getting it right? That's what creates a stable, successful, and honestly, a much less stressful investment for you.
I want you to really think about this for a second. What does one bad turnover actually cost? A few weeks of lost rent? Maybe some unexpected pricey repairs? Or arguments over the security deposit? That stuff adds up, and it adds up fast. The real cost isn't just an administrative headache, it's a direct hit to your annual return on investment.
So what's the solution? How do you avoid all that? Well, it all starts by being proactive with your renewals. The whole goal is to stop reacting when a lease is about to end and start getting ahead of it. It's about keeping the great tenants you already have and making sure that rental income just keeps flowing month after month. Okay, so take a look at this timeline. The process kicks off a full 90 days before a lease even expires. And that's no accident. That early window gives you this crucial time to check in with the tenant, see what their plans are, and fix any little issues they might have. Then, by the 60-day mark, a solid, data-driven renewal offer is already on the table. This whole approach just completely eliminates those last-minute, stressful scrambles.
Let's break that down into 3 simple steps. First, it all begins with that early outreach and checking in on how the tenant's been doing. Step 2, and this is so important, is a deep dive rent analysis. This isn't guesswork. It's about using real, current Kansas City market data to find that perfect price that maximizes your income without scaring off a great tenant. And finally, everything is wrapped up with streamlined electronic documents for speed, security, and of course, compliance. And this right here shows you the payoff for all that planning. When you're proactive, you get higher retention, and trust me, keeping a good tenant is always cheaper than finding a new one. You minimize vacancy because if someone is leaving, you've got a 2-month head start on marketing. Your income is maximized, and you, the owner, actually have time to breathe and plan for any work that needs to be done. It's a win all around.
But hey, not every tenant stays forever, right? So what happens when they decide to move on? This is where having a precision move-out system is absolutely non-negotiable. This is all about protecting your physical asset, making sure there's accountability, and getting that property rent-ready again as fast as humanly possible. And the process here is just as methodical. It kicks off with crystal clear communication to the tenant, spelling out exactly what they need to do for cleaning, turning in keys, and handling utilities. You'd be amazed how many arguments that one simple step prevents. Next up is that super detailed inspection. And then, boom, the turnover process starts immediately to get the property right back on the market. Now, this inspection, this is the heart of protecting your investment. The team documents everything. We're talking photos, videos, written notes, and compares it line by line against the original move-in report. The key thing here is that this isn't about someone's opinion. It's a factual, data-driven assessment of the property's condition, and you get a full, transparent report every single time. And all that documentation is vital for navigating one of the trickiest parts of being a landlord, telling the difference between actual tenant damage and just normal wear and tear. Having an expert make that call based on evidence ensures security deposits are handled correctly and legally under both Missouri and Kansas law. That protects you from some really nasty disputes and financial hits. So, what's the end result of this super efficient system? A turnover time that we measure in days, not weeks. Every single day a property sits empty, that's money right out of your pocket. By getting maintenance, cleaning, and any repairs lined up the moment the inspection is done, the goal is always to shrink that vacancy gap and boost your annual income. So, when you put these two powerful systems together, the proactive renewals and the precision move-outs, what you really get is the Alpine advantage. It's all about taking these high-stress, high-stakes moments and turning them from a liability into a real competitive edge for your investment portfolio. I mean, just look at the difference here on this table.
It's night and day. On one side, you've got the typical DIY landlord experience: long vacancies, legal risks, unpredictable income, and just a ton of stress. On the other side, you have a professional process that delivers faster turnovers, documented legal protection, predictable income, and the peace of mind that comes with having an expert in your corner. The choice is pretty clear. So let's just boil it all down to the 4 core benefits for you, the owner. You get higher tenant retention and you get faster turnovers, which both mean less vacancy. You get real legal protection through meticulous documentation. And what does all of that lead to? The number one thing every single investor wants: consistent, predictable income. What we're really talking about here is something called end-to-end management. It's this idea that every single part of a tenant's journey is connected. By professionally managing that entire life cycle, whether it's for a single-family home, a multifamily building, or even a property in the Section 8 program, you end up with an investment that's just plain less stressful and way more successful. And that really brings us to the final point. At the end of the day, your goal as a real estate investor is to protect your asset and generate steady returns. Having a proven, systematic approach to tenant transitions isn't a luxury, it's the absolute foundation for achieving that goal. If you only remember one thing from all of this, let it be this: smooth transitions build strong investments. The chaos, the cost, the stress of tenant turnover, none of it is inevitable. It's almost always the direct result of just not having a solid process in place. If you're ready to take the chaos out of your investment and build it on a foundation that lasts, the next step is easy. Just give Alpine Property Management Kansas City a call at 816-343-4520 or check out our website at alpinekansascity.com to learn more.